Deputy Lord Mayor, elected representatives, and just everybody that's here this evening. This is the first for me not to be asked to launch a book. I've launched a lot of bits and pieces, mostly charades inside dress rooms, but this is a difference. I think it's actually very fitting that the venue that's been chosen for the launch of the book. You know, we're best to launch a book, but in a library. You know, it's a fabulous setting, and very fitting in the heart of our city as well, that we're doing it in the middle of our city. I suppose a couple of thoughts run through my mind when I think about what we're doing here tonight. I have been very fortunate, I suppose, as the players have, and everybody in the backroom team as well that's involved. You know, the most common greeting that we're met with over the last number of months is just one of thanks. You know, where people just want to say thanks. You know, and I find it difficult, I suppose, maybe at times, because I don't feel like it's something I should be thanked for. It was never something I did to gain thanks, I suppose, really is what I'd say. We all just did it because of the love of Limerick hurling and the love of working with young people. And I think that's one thing I have in common with the two boys here. When they got involved in the Green and White magazine, I think there'd be two common strands. You know, they love the game of hurling and love the County Limerick, and the love of working with young people and influencing young people maybe in a direction that we felt was a worthwhile path for them to follow. And as we all know, being involved in Gaelic games and the GAA and playing hurling football is such a worthwhile endeavour for young people, and one that we're always constantly in school trying to encourage, because we know it's a very fruitful and rewarding path for them to follow in terms of making their friends and, you know, offering them stability in their studies, offering them a future, a bright future, not only socially but academically and in their careers as well. So it's something we have in common. So when people thank me, you know, I feel a little bit awkward about it, but I understand where it's coming from, because people obviously feel blessed that, you know, we've had this opportunity to celebrate the winning of an All-Ireland in Limerick, something which we probably all thought might be something that might be just beyond our reach for a long time. So that's just one thing. And I mentioned the word influencers there as well, and the two boys here, I just want to pay tribute to them, because online at the moment, you know, you have people from the age of 6, would you believe it, making millions in the career of being influencers on YouTube, where they model toys and every sort of thing, and they get paid for it by the number of people that watch them and acknowledge what they're doing. But it's not the type of influencers I'm particularly interested in. I'd be far more interested in the two boys here and the influence that they've had on countless hundreds and thousands of primary school kids. I suppose, what does a child want to see when they're involved in their sport? A little bit of an acknowledgement through a photograph or a piece about their game, or, you know, I remember when I was young growing up, you know, we used to pick up the leader to read Harry Grainsmith's notes, you know, and that's what young people feed off of, you know, is a little bit of acknowledgement, a little bit of encouragement. And the Green and White magazine has offered that for over 2 decades now, and it's been a huge gift, in my view, to the Gaelic games in our schools. And I just want to compliment you on that in itself, because your commitment and dedication to it is just second to none. And I see it in my house regularly, because my wife is working in the primary school, so he comes home as well from school, and I'm always drawn into it to see the young lads that are in it, and maybe the biopics of older players that are, you know, currently playing or maybe even retired, who revisit and pop up in the book from time to time again. So I want to pay tribute in the first instance to that particular project that you have done for the last 22 years. It's hugely influential, and I know that all the players that have come through the last 2 decades really appreciate those magazines, and I'm sure they're stored by their parents as well in filing cabinets and drawers and libraries at home and shelves at home, you know, for future prosperity. But you've certainly outdone yourselves in what you've done here. You know, I would consider this to be what I would say is a historical document now. And, you know, I think that the metaphor of a jigsaw is a very appropriate one and I think there's probably more than 3,000 pieces on it really. There's probably close to 10 or 20,000 pieces really if you were to drill down into it. And it's something that we will all be able to look back on in time. I think in particular what's valuable about it, there's two aspects of it. Number one, it actually records people's own testimony, and personal testimony in moments of historical importance are hugely influential later on in life. They capture the moment, they capture somebody's feelings, they capture somebody's thoughts, and they're preserved, if you like, within that record. And this book at last records those feelings, and the players, and I think people at the public will treasure those memories in years to come. The second thing I like about it is that it brings the past right through to the present. And meeting Richie and Phil down the back earlier on tonight, you could still sense the excitement and the feeling of joy that they have for having seen Limerick win in All-Ireland. And what pleases them most, and it's recorded in the book obviously here, is the influence again that the win had on the young people of the county. Not only in Patrick's Well, obviously for the boys, but in every parish and in every school around the county. And we've seen that with the visits with the cup to the schools. We've seen it in the clubs when we visited the clubs. It has had a huge impact, and it has brought clubs together more closely. It has brought in more people into the clubs. It has brought Gaelic games to the fore in our schools again to an even higher level. And Donald McGrail was telling me last night, he's involved in the academy, and the number of kids who presented for trials for under 13, under 14 is through the roof. Maybe 150, 170 kids turning up for trials. So we have new dreamers in our midst. They're only 10 and 12 and 13, but we need them to dream now in order for us to be able to maybe witness the realisation of those dreams in 10 or 15 years' time. And I certainly look forward to seeing this particular crop of dreamers come through after these particular boys have maybe moved on to pastures later on. So influence is huge. This book will help to influence. I acknowledge the work you've done. It is just incredible. I can't imagine how many hours you've put into it, of personal sacrifice, and rightly so. Your families have to be acknowledged, because I'm sure they didn't see very much of you over the last couple of months. It's just incredible. I don't know what else to say, but I'm certainly looking forward to having the time to sit down and read it. I've only perused it very briefly last night and today, so it's just incredible. And what I would consider it to be is a gift to everybody in Limerick, and to the panel of players, a huge gift. And we thank you for your work, your time, your dedication, and the professionalism with which you and your team have put it together. It's a masterpiece. Well done, and thank you very much.